There's something quietly extraordinary about Seiko. While other brands compete for attention, Seiko earns it through precision, restraint, and a kind of poetry only Japanese craftsmanship can express. It's a name built not on hype, but on heritage. From the icy mountains of Shinshu to the workshops of Morioka, Seiko's watchmakers have spent decades perfecting one thing, the art of honest watchmaking. And here's the truth. You don't need a five-figure budget to experience it. In 2025, Seiko's under $5,000 range has never been stronger. Elegant dress pieces with hand-finished dials, adventure-ready divers, and even spring drive movements that blur the line between mechanical and magic. Today, we're counting down the 10 best Seiko watches under $5,000, not just in value, but in soul. Each one tells a story of innovation, tradition, and the quiet confidence that only Seiko can deliver. Before we begin, take a second to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who still thinks great watches must come from Switzerland. Because after this, they might change their mind. 10 Seiko Prospex Captain Willard, SPB 151. We begin our list with a true legend. A watch that didn't just survive history, it became history. The Seiko Prospex SPB 151, known affectionately as the Captain Willard, is more than a diver's watch. It's a symbol of endurance, courage, and timeless design. Its roots go back to the early 1970s, when Seiko introduced the original 6105, the rugged companion worn by U.S. soldiers during the Vietnam War, most famously by Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. That single cinematic moment transformed a practical tool into a cultural icon. The modern SPB 151 doesn't attempt to outshine its ancestor. Instead, it perfects it. The cushion-shaped case, now slightly slimmer and more refined, retains that same unmistakable silhouette, while the brushed and polished surfaces reveal just how far Seiko's finishing has come. The signature crown at 4 o'clock remains tucked safely away, preserving both function and character. Inside beats Seiko's dependable 6R35 automatic movement, offering an impressive 70-hour power reserve and a reliability that feels almost military in discipline. The domed sapphire crystal, solid caseback, and 200 meters of water resistance make it as capable in 2025 as the original was in 1970. But what makes the Willard truly special isn't just its history, it's how it feels. There's a certain calm authority to it, a sense that this watch has nothing to prove. Strap it on, and you'll understand why collectors speak of it with such affection. At just under $1,200, the Captain Willard stands as one of the best expressions of Seiko's design philosophy. Functional, durable, and emotionally resonant. It's not simply a reissue, it's an heirloom reborn, a bridge between generations of adventurers and enthusiasts. For anyone beginning their journey into Seiko's rich world, this is where the story truly begins. Because the Willard doesn't just keep time, it captures the spirit of it. 9. Seiko Presage. Sharp-edged SAR X077. From the rugged battlefields of the Willard, we shift to something altogether different. Elegance forged with precision. The Seiko Presage sharp-edged SAR X077 represents the quieter side of Seiko, a blend of Japanese artistry, minimalism, and mechanical excellence. At first glance, it feels like a contradiction. Sharp lines, soft reflections, but that's exactly what makes this piece so magnetic. Its dial, inspired by the asanoha or hemp leaf pattern, carries centuries of meaning in Japanese culture, symbolizing growth, strength, and resilience. Under changing light, the pattern comes alive, each geometric facet catching and releasing light like origami in motion. The case is pure geometry. Clean edges, angular lugs, and a crisp brushed finish offset by mirror-polished surfaces achieved through Zaratsu polishing, a technique shared with Grand Seiko. Inside, the 6R35 automatic movement beats with quiet confidence, delivering a generous 70-hour power reserve. It's reliable, robust, and built for longevity, the kind of movement you could service once a decade and expect to hand down still ticking. But what makes the sharp-edged SA RX077 special isn't just the specs, It's the presence. This is a watch that feels modern yet grounded in tradition, formal yet far from fragile. At around $1,000, it delivers a kind of understated luxury that Swiss brands rarely match at twice the price. Every glance at the dial feels meditative, as if Seiko distilled the calm discipline of Japanese craftsmanship into steel and sapphire. It's a reminder that not every great watch needs to shout. Some simply whisper, and in that whisper, you hear precision, pride, and poetry. The SARX-077 isn't just a timepiece. It's Seiko showing the world that beauty can be both sharp and serene. 8. Seiko Prospex Sumo SPB321. From refinement and subtlety, we move back into the realm of strength. Not brute force, but graceful power. The Seiko Prospex Sumo SPB321 is a watch that wears its name proudly. Like the sport it's named after, it's bold, balanced, and deceptively agile for its size. At first glance, the Sumo is unmistakable. The broad shoulders of its 45mm case, the smooth curve of the lugs, and that classic Seiko diver symmetry that feels both familiar and formidable. The blue sunburst dial catches the light like deep ocean water at dusk, constantly shifting between navy and indigo. The ceramic bezel, now more durable and scratch-resistant than ever, gives the Sumo a premium touch that feels far beyond its price tag. Legibility is classic Seiko. Oversized Lumibrite indices, sword hands, and a loom performance that can rival dive watches twice the cost. Inside beats the 6R35 movement, the same heart that powers Seiko's modern Prospex line, delivering 70 hours of power reserve and a smooth, confident sweep. Everything about this movement feels deliberate. The winding action, the tactile click of the crown, the satisfying certainty of its bezel rotation. It's built not just to perform, but to endure. Strap it on a stainless bracelet for a bold everyday look, or swap in a rubber strap and it's ready to take on waves, hikes, or weekend adventures. At around $1,300, the SPB321 is a perfect balance of Seiko engineering and soul. It's a statement watch for those who want size with substance, power with polish. And yet what makes the Sumo endure isn't just its specs, it's its spirit. There's a quiet nobility in its build, a sense that this watch isn't trying to impress anyone. It simply is what it's meant to be, a dependable companion built for those who live with purpose. The Sumo doesn't chase luxury. It defines its own, through strength, craftsmanship, and character. 7. Seiko Prospex 62 MAS Reissue SPB143. Some watches feel fresh, others feel familiar. The Seiko Prospex SPB143 falls into the latter category, a design so perfectly balanced it seems like it's been around forever. This is Seiko's modern reinterpretation of the brand's first professional dive watch, the 62 MAS from 1965, a watch that laid the foundation for every Seiko dive watch since. The 40.5mm stainless steel case feels perfectly proportioned, compact enough for modern wrists, yet rugged enough to offer classic dive watch confidence. Every surface is meticulously polished and precision crafted, a dance of light that showcases Seiko's refined finishing at this price point. The sunburst anthracite dial exudes a dramatic calm. The light fades like the surface of an ocean under an overcast sky, while broad arrow hands and block hour markers ensure perfect readability. Lumibrite is the Seiko signature, lightning-like and durable. No gimmicks, no pretensions, just clarity, legibility, and functionality. Inside is the 6R35 movement, with a 70-hour power reserve, a robust, proven movement that delivers what Seiko does best, reliability. Combined with 200-meter water resistance, a screw-down crown, and a domed sapphire crystal, this is a dive watch ready for anything. But the SPB143 is more than just a tool, it's heritage distilled. Priced at around $1,200, the SPB143 embodies the very idea of Seiko greatness, timeless design, enduring craftsmanship, and unquestionable authenticity. This is the kind of watch collectors call wearable forever. No flash, no fuss, just timeless, like the sea that inspired it. And in the world of watch collecting, memory is the most precious thing. 6. Seiko Prospex Speedtimer Panda SSC 911. After 5 watches that celebrated heritage, artistry, and exploration, it's time to feel some adrenaline. The Seiko Prospex Speedtimer SSC 911, affectionately known as the Panda, is where Seiko channels its racing spirit. A direct descendant of the brand's storied chronograph history from the 1960s and 70s. It's clean, dynamic, and perfectly balanced, capturing the golden age of motorsport design. The red chronograph seconds hand slices across the dial like a flash of speed, while the applied indices and polished hands keep everything sharp and legible under any light. The Speedtimer is powered by Seiko's V192 solar chronograph movement, accurate to within seconds per month and fueled entirely by light. One full charge lasts up to 6 months, meaning no winding, no battery changes, just pure reliability. It also packs in 1/5 second chronograph timing, a 60-minute counter, and a 24-hour subdial, all seamlessly integrated without clutter. The tachymeter bezel nods to Seiko's racing heritage, recalling the company's original 1969 Speedtimer, the world's first automatic chronograph with a vertical clutch and column wheel. On the wrist, at 41.4 millimeters, it feels perfectly judged. Sporty but elegant, substantial but comfortable. The bracelet flows smoothly with brushed and polished links, giving the watch a high-end, cohesive finish. At around $700 to $850, the SSC 911 Panda delivers the punch and personality of a luxury chronograph at a fraction of the cost. It's not about nostalgia alone, it's about energy, motion, and precision in every tick. In a lineup filled with divers, dress pieces, and artisanship, the SSC 911 brings the roar of the racetrack and the thrill of momentum. It's proof that under $5,000, Seiko doesn't just master time, it measures it in moments that move you. 5. Seiko Prospex Alpinist SPB 121. From the refined stillness of lacquer and artistry, we now ascend, literally, into Seiko's mountain spirit. The Seiko Prospex Alpinist SPB 121 is not just a watch. It's a compass, a companion, and a love letter to Japan's rugged peaks. The SPB 121 takes that legacy and reinterprets it for the modern adventurer, one who might spend mornings in the city and afternoons chasing trails. The first thing you notice is the green sunburst dial, deep, mossy, and endlessly shifting in the light. It's not a sterile emerald, but an organic shade that feels alive, echoing the pine forests and misty slopes that inspired the original model. The gold cathedral hands and applied numerals glow warmly against that dial, giving the watch a vintage charm that's equal parts explorer and gentleman. Framing it all is a polished stainless steel case, 39.5 millimeters across, compact, comfortable, and perfectly proportioned for everyday wear. The internal compass bezel, operated by the secondary crown at 4 o'clock, is one of those small details that makes the Alpinist unmistakably Seiko. It's quirky, functional, and uniquely characterful, a touch of analog adventure in a digital world. Powering it is the 6R35 automatic movement, offering 70 hours of reserve. The same reliable heart found across Seiko's modern Prospex line. It's durable, accurate, and effortlessly dependable. The 20-bar water resistance means it's as ready for rain and river crossings as it is for a coffee shop wrist shot. At around $750 to $900, the SPB 121 might be the most balanced Seiko in the lineup. Equally adventurous and refined. But beyond its specs, the Alpinist is about character. Every scratch it earns tells a story. Every reflection on its crystal hints at another horizon. It's a watch that doesn't just measure time, it accompanies it. In a world obsessed with luxury divers and high-tech chronographs, the Alpinist stands quietly apart. It reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful adventures happen not in the depths of the sea, but above the clouds. 4. Seiko Prospex Turtle Save the Ocean SRPF 77. After the crisp mountain air of the Alpinist, we dive back into the blue, not just to explore, but to protect. The Seiko Prospex Turtle Save the Ocean SRPF 77 isn't just another diver. It's a watch with a conscience, a timepiece that carries Seiko's heritage of ocean exploration and its modern commitment to conservation. The nickname Turtle comes from its distinctive cushion-shaped case, broad and curved, resembling a sea turtle's shell. The dial is a masterpiece in texture and storytelling. Inspired by the deep sea, it features a gradient blue pattern that darkens toward the edges, like light fading as you descend into the depths. Subtle wave engravings ripple across the surface, evoking the rhythm of tides and the quiet grace of marine life. Every flicker of light brings it to life, from icy turquoise highlights to inky ocean shadows. Paired with the dial are bold, lumy-bright indices and oversized hands that glow like beacons underwater, ensuring readability at any depth. The unidirectional bezel clicks with satisfying precision, a tactile reminder of Seiko's dive watch DNA. The screw-down crown and solid caseback secure a water resistance of 200 meters, making the Turtle as capable as it is symbolic. Inside beats the reliable 4R36 automatic movement, a tried-and-true caliber offering hand-winding and hacking seconds. The hallmarks of a real diver's watch. It's simple, durable, and serviceable, designed for decades, not seasons. On the wrist, the SRPF 77 feels alive. Its rounded case hugs the wrist naturally, and its blue hues seem to shift with your movement, like the ocean breathing with you. At roughly $550 to $650, it remains one of Seiko's most emotionally resonant pieces. It's accessible, meaningful, and beautifully made. A perfect reminder that great design doesn't only please the eye, it moves the heart. The Turtle SRPF 77 isn't about luxury or status. It's about connection. To nature, to purpose, to legacy. And in that quiet connection, Seiko finds something far deeper than depth ratings. A reason. 3. Seiko Presage Cocktail Time, SRPB 43. After all the power, adventure, and innovation we've seen so far, we arrive at something simpler and maybe more human. The Seiko Presage Cocktail Time, SRPB 43, is a reminder that sometimes beauty doesn't need history or technology to make you pause. It just needs light. The first thing you notice is that dial, a radiant silver-blue sunburst that explodes from the center like ripples of light on still water. Under shifting light, it changes tone, from icy silver in daylight to cool blue under lamplight. Always alive, always moving. The ridged texture catches every glint and turns it into a quiet spectacle. Polished Dauphine hands glide gracefully above those long, applied indices, and the curved hardlex crystal adds a touch of vintage distortion that softens the reflections. The date window at 3 o'clock is small, neat, and perfectly integrated. Nothing breaks the dial's symmetry. Inside beats Seiko's dependable 4R35 automatic movement, visible through the exhibition caseback. It's not about bragging rights, it's about honesty. A reliable heart ticking at 21,600 vibrations per hour, built to last years of daily wear. The 40.5mm stainless steel case wears beautifully. Dressy enough for a suit, but relaxed enough for jeans. At around $425 to $500, the SRPB 43 delivers one of the most beautiful dials in all of watchmaking. Not just in its price range. It's an entry point into Seiko's world of elegance, where design isn't about shouting luxury, but whispering grace. The Cocktail Time isn't a watch that needs an occasion. It creates one. Every glance feels like the clink of a glass. Fleeting, sparkling, and perfect. In a list full of tool watches and heritage icons, this is Seiko's softer voice. A reminder that even under $5,000, beauty still has time to shine. 2. Seiko Prospex Marinemaster 200 SPB 187. From the quiet elegance of the Cocktail Time, we dive once again. This time into the heart of Seiko's engineering excellence. The Seiko Prospex Marinemaster 200 SPB 187 isn't just a diver's watch. It's the perfect embodiment of everything Seiko has learned from 6 decades beneath the waves. At first glance, the SPB 187 looks purposeful, clean, sharp, unpretentious. But spend a few seconds studying it, and you'll notice the refinement. The blue sunburst dial, dark as midnight at the edges and bright as steel at the center, feels alive, like the shifting light under a calm sea. The applied indices are framed in polished metal, catching flashes of brilliance as you move your wrist. Every element feels deliberate, engineered for both beauty and function. The case, measuring 42 millimeters across, is carved from solid stainless steel with an architecture that's pure Seiko. Bold shoulders, crisp bevels, and alternating brushed and mirror-polished planes. The ceramic bezel insert adds durability and a deep luster, while the knurling offers perfect grip. A small but satisfying reminder that this is a true tool watch. Inside, the SPB 187 beats with Seiko's 6R35 automatic movement, offering 70 hours of power reserve, hacking seconds, and rock-solid dependability. It's the same movement found across the modern Prospex line, but here it feels especially fitting. Quiet, relentless, confident. Water-resistant to 200 meters, the Marinemaster 200 isn't just made for dives, it's made for a lifetime. At around $1,600 to $1,800, the SPB 187 might just be the ultimate modern Seiko diver for real-world collectors. It doesn't rely on nostalgia or limited edition hype. It earns admiration through substance. Every detail is thoughtful, every decision purposeful. What makes the Marinemaster 200 special isn't that it tries to be a budget submariner. It's that it never needed to. It stands on its own philosophy: Japanese precision, humble mastery, and quiet endurance. When you strap it on, you don't just wear a watch, you wear 6 decades of innovation. Sealed inside 42 millimeters of steel and sapphire, the SPB 187 is Seiko's purest statement of mechanical excellence under $5,000. And the perfect prelude to what comes next, the watch that bridges timekeeping and poetry itself. 1. Seiko Prospex Marinemaster 300 SLA 023. We've reached the peak, where Seiko's dive heritage, mechanical mastery, and quiet obsession with perfection all come together. The Seiko Prospex Marinemaster 300 SLA 023 isn't just another dive watch. It's the purest expression of Seiko's tool watch DNA, refined to near perfection. The 44.3 millimeter monoblock stainless steel case feels like it was carved from a single block of metal, because it was. Unlike most divers, the SLA 023's case is milled as one piece, giving it unmatched rigidity and depth resistance. It's not just strong, it's engineered. The deep blue sunburst dial is mesmerizing. Under sunlight, it glows like the ocean at dawn. Under shade, it darkens into navy steel. The large polished indices and broad hands, filled with Seiko's signature LumiBright, provide legibility that's almost overbuilt. Exactly what you'd expect from a watch tested for 300 meters of water resistance. Powering it is Seiko's Caliber 8L35, a movement built by the same craftsman behind Grand Seiko's 9S calibers. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, hand-assembled at the Shizukuishi Watch Studio, and regulated to near-chronometer precision. You won't find Geneva stripes or skeleton rotors here, just the quiet strength of pure performance. At around $4,400 to $4,800, the Marinemaster 300 stands at the very edge of Seiko's world before you cross into Grand Seiko territory. But make no mistake, this watch doesn't live in anyone's shadow. It's the spiritual successor to Seiko's 1968 professional diver 6159. The watch that first proved Japanese engineering could surpass the Swiss at their own game. On the wrist, it's powerful, yet strangely graceful. The weight reminds you it's real. The smooth second-hand sweep reminds you it's alive. And the build quality reminds you that Seiko never stops evolving. The SLA 023 is not a symbol of luxury. It's a symbol of mastery. It's what happens when Seiko doesn't try to make something for everyone. It makes something for itself. That's why the Marinemaster 300 takes the #1 spot, because among all Seikos under $5,000, this is the one that feels less like a watch and more like a legacy on your wrist. And that's our journey. 10 Seiko watches under $5,000, each carrying a different heartbeat of the same soul. From the rugged legacy of the Willard to the refined shimmer of the cocktail time, from mountain trails to moonlit lacquer, and finally to the quiet perfection of the Spring Drive LX. We've seen what makes Seiko more than just a brand. It's a philosophy. Seiko doesn't chase trends. It builds stories, in steel and sapphire and silence. Every model we've covered isn't just a tool to measure hours. It's a fragment of Seiko's century-long pursuit of harmony between technology and tradition, precision and emotion, man and time. If one of these watches spoke to you, the humble turtle, the fearless Sumo, or that breathtaking LX, take it as a sign. Because collecting Seiko isn't about buying watches. It's about finding the one that reflects you. Before you go, hit subscribe, tap like, and share this video with someone who still thinks beauty and watchmaking only comes from Switzerland. Let's prove them wrong, together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your wrists ready, your stories unfolding, and your seconds flowing, just like Seiko intended.